Apple cider vinegar, ACV, has been used for centuries in food and traditional remedies. It has some evidence-supported benefits, but also real risks when misused or overused. Apple cider vinegar is made through a two-step fermentation process that converts apple sugars into alcohol and then into acetic acid. Yeast, either naturally occurring or added, converts the natural sugars in apple juice into ethanol, alcohol. This stage takes a few days to a few weeks, depending on temperature and yeast activity. Next, Acetobacter species, acetic acid bacteria, are added or allowed to colonize naturally. These bacteria convert ethanol into acetic acid, the main component of vinegar. This step requires oxygen and can take weeks to months. During fermentation, cellulose strands plus bacteria form a cloudy mass called the mother of vinegar. It contains acetic acid bacteria, yeast, enzymes, and trace minerals. Raw, unfiltered ACV retains the mother, whereas filtered ACV does not. Final product is a liquid that contains 4 to 6% acetic acid, rich in organic acids with a slightly fruity odor from apple cidery esters. Rises and dips in blood glucose levels influence our energy throughout the day. Peaks give us a boost, while drops leave us fatigued. We get a spike and then a drop after eating. The sharper the spike, the more likely we are to experience energy crashes. Over time, frequent spikes can contribute to insulin resistance, a precursor to type 2 diabetes. One widely suggested remedy is a shot of apple cider vinegar every morning. Studies over the past decade suggest that vinegar could indeed have positive long-term effects on our blood glucose levels. The analysis of intervention studies, a type of clinical trial, suggests that consuming 15 to 30 milliliters a day over several weeks can lower fasting blood glucose, your baseline level when you haven't consumed anything, potentially reducing the risk of diabetes and cardiovascular disease and improving levels of blood lipids, such as cholesterol. The evidence on ACV controlling blood sugar is also intriguing. A 2019 meta-analysis of 6 small studies found that taking it daily resulted in lower fasting blood glucose levels, as well as reduced cholesterol. A study in 2004 of people with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes found that taking ACV after a high-carb meal reduced blood sugar spikes. Regular blood sugar spikes and subsequent crashes are associated with chronic disease. This means that it could be helpful, alongside medication, in controlling blood sugar for people with type 2 diabetes. At present, however, it is not medically recommended and could cause problems in blood sugar control for people with type 1 diabetes. The cholesterol finding from one of the blood sugar studies is backed up by a meta-analysis of 9 trials, which concludes that taking 1 tablespoon of ACV daily is most effective after doing so for 8 weeks or more. While the weight loss studies are small and inconsistent and give only a short-term picture, one found that, with 2 groups on a calorie-controlled diet for 12 weeks, the half that also took 30 milliliters of vinegar every day lost on average 1.5 kilograms more. Another found that overweight participants lost 1 kilogram to 2 kilograms over 12 weeks with no dietary restrictions. But all of these results should be interpreted with caution. One hypothesis may explain why so many people claim anecdotally that ACV makes them feel better in general, although this could be the placebo effect. Vinegar that contains the mother has enzymes and antioxidants that support cell metabolism and function. It's high in flavonoids and beneficial bacteria, which contribute to the human microbiome, vital for cellular immunity and defense. In a nutshell, it is suggested that ACV has a 2-pronged approach to fighting bugs, killing the bugs and strengthening our cellular defenses. That said, the effects always depend on the individual, as everyone's got a different immunity. A multitude of experiments throughout the pandemic resulted in a 2021 paper demonstrating that ACV kills E. coli and MRSA in petri dishes almost as effectively as common antibiotics. However, it is not clear how this would translate to the human body. Acidic foods can affect the enzyme amylase, which breaks down carbohydrates into sugar in our mouths. This enzyme is pH-dependent. When you consume something acidic, it becomes less active. As a result, acid-affected amylase is less effective at making sugar for your body to absorb. However, drinking apple cider vinegar should not replace medication for diabetes management and could be detrimental to dental health. Apple cider vinegar is strongly acidic, so there are risks of enamel erosion and reflux, heartburn, too. Never drink ACV undiluted. Long-term or high-dose intake has been associated with low potassium levels and bone issues due to altered mineral balance. ACV may show adverse drug reactions. Therefore, consult with your physician before making a dietary change. After all, you are what you eat.